Turn my mic on and now you can hear me. How's it going, guys? Happy Thursday to you. Man, I just decided to do this last minute. I'm sitting here with 1 hour left here at the office waiting on my kid to get here from school. He walks here. So I thought, why not hop on and do the live stream? So if you're joining me, would you just chat and let me know that you're there? I don't have my YouTube analytics thing pulled up. I do have the chat thing pulled up where we can definitely do some Q&A stuff. This is going to be a little more laid back live stream where I'd love to just kind of interact with y'all a little bit more. I don't have a song lined up to do. What do I call it? Hold on. Let me move my dead cat out of the way. That was just like creeping into the photo. What else do I got in this? I also have a cup in the way. Yeah, so we're not doing Get Off My Lawn today, but I do have a slew of live stream reviews that we can jump into that people have submitted. So I'd love to know if you're hopping on the stream today and just chat any questions that you got. We'll talk about maybe some new tech that has come out. How do things look? How do things sound? Give me some feedback. Hopefully everything's is working correctly. Yeah, so glad to have you on this Thursday live stream. You know, I should probably figure out be consistent with these. I know that a lot of people do like Wednesdays or whatever, but I just have yet to find a time that always works with my schedule. I mean, I'm off on Fridays, but try to not always work on Fridays. So let's see. Doug, he has asked a question. I love your profile picture there, by the way, Doug. Yo, you taking a break from the Sunday vlogs? This last Sunday, yes, I did take a break from the Sunday vlog. We were gone on fall break with friends and stuff, and I didn't have like this clear vision of what I wanted to do. And so I ended up just, not going to worry about it today. And that was fine. I mean, I kind of missed it, but glad to know somebody else is out there. Smash Team says, hello all. Hello to you as well. Thanks for jumping on today, guys. Let's see. I will tell you that I am super excited about something that happened this week, and that is the new MacBook Pros. And I actually ordered mine. Let's see. Oh my gosh, my screen layout's all messed up. I ordered the MacBook Pro 16-inch. Let's just go on here and see. And I want to know, are you excited about the new MacBook Pros that came out? Are you ordering something? Have you been waiting on this? Currently, I am live streaming from my 2015 MacBook Pro. And I don't know if you can hear that. That's the fan. And the fan on this thing is just always roaring, like no matter what I'm doing. But if we go over here and look and see what they've got on here now. Here's the one that I went for. The MacBook Pro 16-inch. And I went ahead and did... I don't even see it on here. Actually, I did the 64 gigabytes of RAM. Yeah, I did the 64, and I did a 2 terabyte SSD just because the SSDs on these things are supposed to be like blazing fast for editing video. And I'm so excited about that. I do a ton of like multicam video editing, and my MacBook Pro that I have now has been okay, but it's starting to show its age. So what does that put us at price-wise? I think I'm in the way over here. No, I'm not. I think it was like, oh, there it is down there. $4,299. So that's supposed to be here in November. Are you guys going to get a new MacBook Pro? Are you waiting for the new Mac Mini maybe that kind of takes this stuff and puts it into there? Or maybe even the iMac. I think the iMac is going to be a great setup if they can kind of incorporate the Pro features into the new iMacs. Multiple displays is probably the main thing that we always want. So That way we don't have to mess with the deck link duos with the M1s and all of that stuff. Let's see. So yeah, let's take some questions. Let's do some Q&A stuff. You have sound questions. Do you have video questions, lighting questions, questions about being just a worship leader? That is what I am at heart. I am a worship pastor first, and I am a worship pastor that utilizes media to help people worship. So I definitely am always, I love talking about that side of things and not just always the tech stuff, but tech is fun. So here's a question from D.E. Smith. Let's see if I can pull it up. He says, our sound mix is really out of balance and we need to start over. Any advice on how to set the levels? Vocals first, melody, then harmony, etc. So DE, comment and let me know what's your band makeup. I'm just going to assume that it's kind of a normal praise and worship band. Electric guitar, bass guitar, keys, maybe 3 or 4 vocalists, acoustic guitar, and maybe tracks, that kind of thing. So anytime that I'm setting up in a new area, like maybe we're traveling and we're doing sound in a new area on a new soundboard, the first thing that you want to do is obviously just set your gain structure for each channel. And so the easiest way that I know how to do that is you want to get your slider, your fader, sorry. Man, this chair is rickety. You want to get your fader at unity, which is 0. You know, put that at there with your gain all the way down. Then have your instrumentalist, say it's your acoustic guitar player, have them at full volume, playing as hard as they can, like not as hard as they, but like their loudest that they're going to be, right? Then you're going to start creeping that gain knob up until it's, you know, in the yellow, you know, green to yellow, green to yellow. You want it to have some headroom. You don't want it to peak. And that's going to be different on every board. I know like X32s, M32s have like a sweet spot. I don't remember what it is, -16 or something like that. But yeah, that's kind of the starting point, is just getting your gain structure right, because that will help you get your monitor mixes better, all of those things if you start with the gain structure. And then typically what you want, what we've done in all my band settings is you start with the drums and you get all those individually sounding good. And then you just move on to the different instruments, and then vocals all separately, EQing, compressing. And my recommendation for you would be to have someone come in that knows what they're doing. Pay them $250 to do all this stuff. We paid someone local here that's an audio engineer that I trust to come in, and he dialed in all of the gain, not the gain, all of the compression, the gates, all of the EQ for our drums. He just focused on our drums because we're not a set up and tear down church. So it was worth it for me to have him come and preset all those things. And even if you are a set up and tear down church, with digital boards, you can save your stuff, save your settings, and then you're not really changing that much week to week, right? You can go in and save presets. And another good starting point, if you do have an X32 or an M32 or something like that, they usually have instrument presets built in there. I don't have one like the software in front of me to be able to show you, but look that up, where you can actually go in and choose like bass guitar for that channel, and it'll kind of give you a good starting point. So that is my initial explanation of how I would start a sound check. So Andres, he says, greeting from Mendoza, Argentina. Greetings, Andres. I had a friend from Argentina that his name is Josue, probably the best bass guitarist that I've ever played with. Also played keys really, really well. And sadly, he went back home, and you wouldn't know him. I mean, that's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. But greetings. Thanks for hopping on the stream. That's so cool. Smash Team says that their M32R and Stagebox DL32 was around $3,900 US. Yeah, that's a good starting point for running sound and stuff. So I don't know. Maybe somebody asked a question. that he's answering. So let's see. Dave says, "Hi, Ryland." Hi, Dave. How's it going, man? Any questions today? Just fire them away. I'm just looking through the chat here. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. And while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and look and see if I can pull up maybe one of these live stream reviews that have been submitted. But yeah, my MacBook Pro is not supposed to get here till like November 10th or something. I was a little bummed about that because I was immediately, boop, I was immediately on there ready to order. So I was a little surprised that it's not coming in sooner than that, but I hope it will. Maybe I'll be surprised and it'll just show up in the mail. Nothing like opening a new MacBook. It's beautiful. All right. Aaron Werner from the I Am Church submitted a live stream review that he wants help on the audio mix. So that's something that we can all help him with. Hopefully you have headphones. Maybe you can pop in, and let's see if I can pull this up over here for Aaron's church, and we can give him some feedback. Mute this real quick. I don't want any YouTube ads playing on this. Oh, the I Am Church, Jacksonville. We're going to go to a little spot in his sermon or a service where the band is playing. All right, let's just see. Turn my volume back up here.
We are a local church with a global
and no one.
All right, so what he says here is they have a Panasonic camera as the main cam. They have an iPad second camera from vMix. But really, I think we've looked at his before, and he's just wanting a little more feedback about the audio from the stream. So let's do it.
Can worship you for me, for all the things you done for me, and no one can worship you for me.
All right, so the first thing that I notice is that her vocal sounds a little bit dry to me. I would add some reverb onto that, or even just a little bit of house mics, audience mics, if you will. So it looks like this week they just had piano and drums.
You, Lord, you are worthy, and no one can worship you for me.
All right, so it sounds like to me you have a compressor maybe on your main mix, but what I'm hearing is every time that kick drum hits, it's squashing it back down and bringing it back up. Maybe like you have a brick wall limiter on there and your kick is too hot. So you might look at that. I can hear it. I don't know if you can hear it on a phone or not, but
For all the things you done for me,
it's like,
and no one can worship you for me. Here's my worship, all of my worship.
what tips would you guys give him for his audio mix? When you just have that simple setup, I think it can always be helpful to add pads underneath everything just to kind of, add some glue to the mix if you can, from your keyboardist. Got some good questions coming in. Very good questions. Let's listen to a little bit more of this service from Aaron. Then we'll take those questions.
Receive my worship, all of my worship. Here is my worship.
The drums sound pretty good.
All of my worship. Receive my worship.
All right, so those are my initial thoughts there. Yeah, look at that compression on the kick or the main mix or the brick wall limiter that's kind of squashing it, bringing back it up. Add a little more reverb to that main vocal. Vocal is a tiny bit hot, I would say, in the mix. Add some audience mics. You have a pretty simple setup, but even if you can do those little things, it'll help it sound even better. All right, so let's get to these questions real quick that you guys have been asking, because there's a couple good ones in here. Isaac says, hey there, I'm new here, but how do we get our stream reviewed? Well, Isaac, if you want to get your stream reviewed, then all you have to do is hit that little money bar and do a super chat. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to super chat. Super chats are appreciated because I can't monetize these streams because I'm reviewing worship music from churches. So that's the only way that I can make doing these live streams worth the time. But all you have to do, there should be a link in the description of this video that you can click on and fill out that form. And it's just kind of goes through 3 or 4 questions so I can know what you're working with and what you want me to review. That's how you do that. Andres, I don't know if you're supposed to roll the R or not. Sorry. He says, which service do you recommend the most? Church Motion Graphics, Dan Stevers, Visual Media Graphics, others. I'm thinking of subscribing to one, but in my country, it becomes very expensive. Yeah. So we have subscriptions to, the only one that we have subscription to actually is ignitermedia.com. I like Igniter Media because it is kind of this melting pot, if you will. It's got a little bit from all the different people. And so some of them offer a lot of their content, like Dan Stevers has stuff on Igniter Media. It's similar to Worship House Media, but it's way better. It's they offer more things. And so for churches, I feel like it's better. It offers social media stuff, lots of sermon graphics and content, sermon bumpers, countdowns, all that stuff. But they also now, they included, I think, all of their Igniter Media mini movies as well. So I want to say for us, I pay, after like discount codes, maybe like $350 or $400 a year. And it's worth it for sure for us. I also got in on the ground floor on sundaysocial.tv. I think we pay $5 or $10 a month for that. It's a little more expensive now, but that is mainly social graphics. So if you're looking for like worship loops and stuff like that, Church Motion Graphics is a really good one as well, but they have a lot of their stuff on Igniter. So I just like the variety. I used to have a subscription to Centerline Media as well, centerlinemedia.com, but then they started putting most of their stuff on Igniter, and I was like, well, I'm not going to pay for both of them. So that's kind of my thought. What do you guys use? What do you subscribe to? Dave, you could consider doing church tech tours as a monthly segment. Maybe you could start with Lakewood Church, Houston, or even Transformation Church, Michael Todd's church. Yeah, Dave, so I've actually, yes, for sure. That's something I've thought about doing. There's so many amazing churches right here in my area. Lakewood's a little ways away, but I would definitely start with some of the ones around here. I've got buddies at some amazing churches, and we've talked about actually doing that very thing because I get so much value out of that. And when I went on my sabbatical, that's what I did, was I went to these churches and just kind of got behind the scenes tours. And that was before I was really doing this YouTube channel, or I would have documented that. But we've talked a lot about, hey, I'd love to come by and just, show people behind the scenes and ask questions that I think people that are subscribed to my channel would benefit from. And speaking of subscribing, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, why not go ahead and do that? I think the chat is set to where only subscribers can comment. So if you subscribe, I think like a minute later you can comment and ask questions. So I'd love to have you jump in and be a part of our community here, where we talk a lot about worship and media arts stuff. So yes, Dave, that's a great idea. I don't just want to like, I don't know, like you see Jake and you see other guys, worship leader, hang out doing that same kind of thing. And part of me is like, oh, I don't want to copy them. But then another part of me is like, but I love that content. And there's so many great churches right here that I think people all around the world could benefit from. So why not, you know? But I want to make it like my style, and we'll see. So to be honest, I've thought in this next 2 months, I've really got to be intentional about utilizing my time the right way. I don't know if it's like this for you guys, but between now and middle of December, church life is just insane. So we're prepping for our Christmas spectacular and so many other things. So DE, do you think an overhead mic on the drums for a room mix would give more range of sound? Yeah, so the guy on that live stream that mix that we played with. Yeah, I think you're right. I think that adding maybe just a couple overheads, if they didn't already have those, would just give it like a more fuller sound, and not as like every drum is an individual mic, like give a fuller mic sound. And honestly, sometimes when it's a simpler setup like that, I will just do a kick mic and stereo overheads, or one overhead and one on the snare. That way you kind of get just like a fuller sounding drum set without it feeling so direct mics. I don't know. Isaiah, yes. Bro, yes. Christmas insane time. Yeah, it really is. And I don't know if you've looked at any of the stuff our church has done, but we really do put a lot of time and effort into making that our special service, the spectacular. And it's always a great time. And it's also so many things in the next 2 months that I want to document and help, put out there. So, I just want to try and, do that. I want to document it, but I also want to be intentional and not overstretch myself. So, Dave says, is there an alternative way to donate other than Super Chat? Maybe PayPal that works with your buzzer button. Sure. You can always go through my Jimmy profile, which is linked in the description, and donate through that, even if you don't want. I've had people do that, like, hey, I'm donating through this, but I don't really need like a Zoom session with you. I just wanted to say thank you. What is my PayPal? Let's see. I'm not on the screen, am I? No, okay. Just make sure my PayPal backend isn't showing up for all you guys. I know that you can, like, here we go, get paid. Get paid. Treat yourself. I don't know. I assume it would just be like my email, or my name. I don't know how to do this. Share your personal profile. This is great content, isn't it? This is great live stream content. It's just at Rylan Russell is my PayPal. So send money to that. That's what it says. At Rylan Russell. PayPal's cool. I mean, it's fine. They take a cut just like anybody else. But Greg has a question. Do you do any pre-film services or music videos? We're filming for the day after Christmas this weekend. Oh, yeah. We were just talking about December 26th, that Sunday, about actually just moving. Ooh, let's go to this camera because everyone likes that camera. We were talking about what are our services going to look like on the 26th. And I suggested like we just go to one service, no Sunday school, no small groups, because it'll be a down day. But you're saying that you're actually pre-recording and you're just going to do virtual only that day. That's interesting. We're in Oklahoma, so our culture is a little different. Like, COVID protocols have been much looser in our state as things have calmed back down. And so we've been meeting for a long time. So we've talked about maybe just having like a pajama Sunday or something like that. But to answer your question, do we pre-film things? That's kind of my first side hustle is videography. So I'm currently in the middle of 3 different edits for a nonprofit right now. Yeah, we film things all the time. If you go over to our church channel, you'll see different testimonial videos that we've done, my story videos. We don't pre-film anything for Sunday to Sunday. Like we don't do any weekly announcements or anything like that, just because, well, there's a few reasons. I won't go into that, but yes, we do a lot of that, but not on a weekly basis as much. So what other questions do you have? Could you add that extra PayPal information to your video descriptions? Yeah, I should do that. I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to add that right now, but I think it's just... What is this? What if I do? Yeah, I should add that, Dave, for sure, just to give people another option. I always super chat just because it's easy. I don't know. Maybe you have to have something built into your YouTube profile to be able to do that. But I want to make it easy for you guys because I appreciate anything that you can do. So Isaiah has a good question. What do you do to get consistent lighting week to week at your church? We seem to be having some issues with lighting each week. Sometimes it's exposure, other time colors. So let's go to the answer cam. The way that I resolved this issue to begin with was I did everything myself. It's not healthy. I would not recommend it. I set every single light cue. Our service is pre-programmed, so all of our light cues for every song, sermon, everything is just they click the next button in Jan's Vista. So it's all preset, and I was doing all of that. So I knew, because I'm also the one who was setting exposures for cameras when we first set them up in the space, kind of what like percentages on the key lights needed to be on certain areas of the stage and all that stuff. And so that was how, you need to have somebody that knows what they're doing do it first. It's similar to the audio setup, right? And then any lighting software or hardware that you use, you should be able to make presets, just predetermined values for that key lighting setup. So a lot of people will have like a front wash, preset. So like, say you're starting a song, you want a band wash, you just hit that preset. It has the right levels, the right white balances for your different lights, and it's all just a preset. And so then you can kind of work from that. So I would work on having somebody that knows what they're doing with your setup come and just make presets. If that's you, just spend the afternoon dialing that in, have somebody actually on stage walk around to the different places so you can see exposure on faces. And all of our cameras are Panasonic cameras. I have links to those in the description of this video of all the stuff we use. But what I like about those is they have different custom profiles on the dial. So even if I take those cameras out and go do something else, say I'm filming an event or doing a testimonial and I have it on 24p, different settings ISO, I spin it back to C1 and it's our perfect streaming settings for that location. So that would be my recommendations. What else do you guys got? Probably got about 15 more minutes that I can hang. Let's see if I can pull up any of these other live stream reviews that were submitted. Eugene Marias, if you're out there, we're about to look at your live stream review here. How about that new DJI camera that came out, that cinema camera? Did y'all see that? With the built-in 4-axis gimbal? It's pretty crazy. And I don't think it was crazy expensive, like maybe $5,000, if I remember correctly. it looked really interesting. I'm not sure like you would ever need that for a church setting. I mean, it's a beautiful cinema camera, but I think it's too specialized. It's kind of neat though. Okay, Eugene. Let's see. Sometimes I lose my mouse on all these screens. We're going to look at his. Here we go. He has a Canon XA10, Canon G26, Canon HF R700. I don't know what those last two are. A10 Mini Extreme, very nice. Allen and Heath SQ6, Reaper DAW. So they are doing their mix in a box, and he wants the most feedback on their audio mix. So this is somebody who is mixing in a box, doing it software in Reaper, and let's see kind of what they got going on here.
To our online viewers, great to have you online this morning, and we'd like to just...
Little welcome time. Let's see if the band's getting going here. All right. Keys are, that's a good patch.
Me now in the hands that created the heavens. Find me.
I was wondering, are they going to have a drummer? He's hidden over on the side somewhere.
Runs as deep as your scars. You pulled me from the clay.
It's a good shot.
Set me on the road.
I like your Coroplast backgrounds.
Call me by your name. Make my heart whole again. Lift it up.
All right, here we go.
My knees
Getting into it.
it's all for your glory. That I might stand with more reasons to sing than to fear.
All right, so my initial thoughts are that that's really a pretty good mix coming from Reaper. I still feel like these vocals, especially I'm hearing it in the two background vocalists right now, the male and the female, maybe her as well, but the reverb, I feel like it needs a little more life in there, just a little bit, whether that's more room mics or more reverb on these mics in the stream.
Pull me from the clay. Set me on a rock. Call me by
I like the trumpet where it's sitting in the mix. It feels very nice.
your name. Make my heart whole again. Here I stand, high in surrender. I need you now. Hold my heart now and forever.
Drums have a pretty good presence in the mix. I like the kicks presence. I feel like you had more instrumentalists. Mainly what I'm hearing is keys, drums, and trumpet. Did you have guitars?
My soul cries out. Once I was broken, but you loved my whole heart through. Sin has
Don't you love it when people walk right in front of the camera? You're like, move.
hold on me.
Okay, I don't hear the cello.
Grace holds me now,
I do hear bass guitar.
and that grace
I don't hear
holds
acoustic
the
guitar at all.
ground where the grave did.
All right, so yeah, your vocals are just a little too out front. Like they're in my face. Like, well, they're in my ears really loud, but in the mix, they're kind of too, it's like your mix, and then the vocals are like just sitting on them instead of it all kind of being one thing. So I do hear some panning, it feels like, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you have any feedback for them before I keep playing? Let's see if there's anything in the chat that you guys are hearing. Ooh, we got some other good questions. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Willie, I hope you didn't miss the stream. We're still streaming. Let's listen to a different song. Hold on, let me move myself here. Let's go. Let's just guess. All right.
The earth is filled with His glory. The earth is filled with His glory. His Father, every tongue will confess.
Okay, prayer.
My river of wrong.
I want to go to where the whole band's playing.
Mercy
I like the drum pan.
roars like hurricane winds. Furious love laid waste to my sin.
All right. So that's my initial thoughts on the mix. I didn't hear really the acoustic guitar, and usually it seems like in worship mixes, the acoustic is always like super out front, and it shouldn't be. So I like that the melodic instrument, the piano, was leading. I like where the horns were sitting. I couldn't hear the cello for some reason. And just work on that vocal mix, giving it a little more life to it and not quite as dry. On in that mix in Reaper. So levels were really good. Clarity was good and stuff. So yeah. Let's look and see what are the questions we have. Dave, he asks, how do you counter overexposed bright clothes without crushing your shadows, taking into consideration that you're working with a camera with 9 stops of dynamic range? Yeah. Am I out of focus? Oh my gosh. Yeah, I was. This is what happens whenever you do this. Oh, that's beautiful. This is really good content. Is that better? I'm still like in focus here. Whatever. It's a live stream. It doesn't matter. You're watching this in 480p on your iPhone. So back to Dave's question. Yes, it's that, like, you see the pastor walk up wearing a white shirt and you're like, no, like, don't wear a white shirt. I have actually told our pastor certain shirts that I would prefer him not to wear if he would be okay with that. Like, he has one shirt that just causes moire, and really moire never happens on our cameras, but for some reason, one of these really tight knit shirts, I was like, can't wear that one anymore. And people that are gonna be on the stage, I don't think there's anything wrong with having that discussion with them, saying like, hey, just so you know, I want us to not have any distractions when it comes to our live stream, and a really bright overexposed white shirt can draw people's eyes to that. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with giving some guidance on that. I think people appreciate it. They want to look their best on camera too. I guarantee it. Some of the vainest people are drummers. And I say that in jest. We all, it's like, get me on my good side. So yeah, just dealing with that though, is trying to have even lighting. I mean, something that works well in our space is like our projector and our effect lighting, like our movers, are really not all that bright. I mean, they're good in person, but what can be dangerous is like you upgrade to this LED wall and these great big movers, and now suddenly you're trying to make that not be blown out, and you're having to compensate by, lowering your exposure, but now people's faces aren't as bright because the key lights that you have are not strong enough, and so now you've got to add more key light. So right now in our space, we have a good balance between all those different elements. Like it just works okay on camera. So hopefully that helps. Yeah, I don't shoot in RAW. I'm not even doing Cinelike or one of these, like the ones that has a little bit more dynamic range. We're shooting all in the natural profile in the Panasonic cameras. And I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to lose your shadows necessarily. A lot of times we're trying to hide stuff in the shadows anyways. And rarely are we lighting people with like a high contrasty look on purpose, sometimes by accident. We're like, we want light on people's faces. We're not doing like lots of light, no light, shoot from the shadow side to be more cinematic. We're not doing that. So, Hayden Russell asks, this is my little brother, by the way, how tight do worship pastors' pants have to be to pass? And Isaiah says, as tight as possible without causing your bro or sin to lust. I think is what he was saying. Oh, that's funny. That's going to have stylo, right? It's mom jeans and straight leg. I don't know. I don't know. Isaac said he just submitted their stream. Sweet. Oh, and Chris, look at you. He's watching at 1080 on my OnePlus 9. So you could tell that I was out of focus, couldn't you? What about this one? Am I in focus here? I set the focus on this microphone and I moved it to here. So hopefully I'm in focus. That's the full frame 1.8 though. So it's got much shallower. It's much narrower. Depth of field in that one. Gregory. Hello, sir. Can I ask questions here? That's why we're here. Yes. We've got probably, I don't know, however long it takes for my son to get here from school. So another 5-10 minutes. And then we'll wrap this up. So yes, ask your questions. You're welcome, Dave. Yeah. Those are just some tips for the shadows and not crushing your highlights and stuff like that. And I will say, Dave, one more follow-up to that is some cameras deal with it differently. Like certain Canon cameras, you want to overexpose by half a stop or a stop because it retains the highlights better than it does for pushing the shadows. But if you're not doing any shading live on the cameras, like with external color grading, that doesn't really matter. You're probably just doing it all in camera if you're like most of us. What camera and lens are you using for your main camera? Expound on main camera. Do you mean like in our worship center main camera? Do you mean this camera I'm looking at right here? Do you mean the other one? I can tell you all of our stuff is linked in the description here. I would say the only thing I have that's not Panasonic GH series is we have a DVX200. And then we have a Canon RP that I usually use for photography, and like our photography team will use it, and I'll use it for my vlogs and stuff. So yeah, I'd love to help you, give you advice on whatever your situation would be. So just comment below. Something else, a little resource I can tell you guys about. Let me see if I can find it here. I was tasked with creating new... No, that's not the right thing. Where did I go? I was tasked with creating new signatures for our email here at the church, just to kind of create them and be unified. And I found this website, and it's not as easy as it would sound, okay? Like... creating a signature that all your staff can replicate easily and use in their different system or whatever email program they're using, or maybe even integrate with Google Apps. Like there's paid ones out there that you can pay subscriptions. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to mess with having to code things and host it on our website or something weird like that. I needed it to be really easy where people could just go in, update their profile picture, and go. And so signaturehound.com. Oh my gosh, why? I don't think I logged in on, is it going to show? No. Okay. Not that it would matter if you knew this, I guess, but you can create a free email signature thing. I know there's like HubSpot and stuff like that, but I liked this one because now I just shared the link via email to my people, and this is what they get. To where now they can go in, update their profile picture. Let me turn myself off here. Change their job title, email address, all their little social media things. And then when they click install signature, it takes them it guides them through how to do that. So maybe they want to do it on their phone, and it shows them exactly how to do it, and they've had no issues. So that's been handy. That's something that we did actually just today. Okay, Dave's using the 250D. Is that I don't know what the 250D is. What is that? Is that a mirrorless camera of theirs? Is that a camcorder? Gregory, is the GH5 worth buying in 2021 still? It's almost 7 years old. Yeah. Oh, Gregory. That's funny. Yeah, that's a good question. Yes, I definitely think it's still worth it, especially for if you're looking to live stream. I love the GH5 because it's so flexible. Even still now, it has unlimited record time. It's never going to overheat. Has full-size HDMI. It has sensor stabilization. It has autofocus that you can trust for like push-button autofocus. I wouldn't use it for auto tracking necessarily. And then it's a great run and gun camera for things that we always have to do at church. It can do pretty good photography stuff. I think like 20 megapixel stills. You can hand hold it and not have to worry about anything. And you can probably find them used a lot cheaper than that. So yeah, I love our GH5. I mean, we're still rocking G7s, G85s, GH4s. So yeah. There's no way this is true. You read my mind. I was going to ask about email signatures next. Thanks. That's funny. Jason, thanks for hopping on, man. No need to apologize. I literally decided to do this at 3:35, and we started at 3:45. So, which means we've almost been going an hour. So let's do just a few more minutes of Q&A. If you jumping on late, everybody that's been on has been giving money. No, I'm just kidding. They haven't. Through the super chats, but we did a couple live stream reviews. You can go back and watch those. If you want me to live stream, if you want me to review your church's live stream, there's a link in the description. We've talked about a lot of fun stuff. I'm excited about my new MacBook Pro that's coming. Our children's wing, we are installing. I've got stacks of iPads. Here's something cool. Hold on. Be right back. So in our kids wing, we are setting up a new check-in system area. It's going to be really cool, a bigger space, and we're putting 2 different TVs in there. And I bought these HDMI sync boxes. They're from Neo, and just it's like a knockoff version of the Philips Hue version, but it's just LED tape that goes around the TV in the back. And there's a box that's put in between the HDMI input and like to get the colors that's going to the TV, and then that passes through to the TV. And so then whatever's on the screen lights up behind, the wall and stuff. So just add a little flavor to it. I think these, let me see if I can find them. I'll link to them. They were a lot cheaper than the Philips Hue. And for an area like that, I thought it would be a cool little thing to try. Let's see. You guys ever tried one of these? Is it going to be dumb? I don't know. If it is, we'll just send it back. Neo HDMI sync box. Looks like it was $129. And I'll grab a link here. Maybe. That's why I need that new Mac, man. My 2015 screaming at me. It's like, The fans are working overtime. Can I reply? No, I can't reply on that. Here. I have a feeling that Gregory might be one of my coworkers. Jason, I started doing vlogs. Any suggestions? Just be yourself, man. Don't try and be somebody else. Document what you want to document. I've done vlogs of my family for a while. That's always great. I don't know what you're vlogging, but vlog what you are interested in, because don't do it for other people. Because vlogs are a lot of work, and you have to really want to document it. So, or else you won't stick with it. So, well, Jonathan, this is a great note for me to wrap things up on. He says, no questions, but just want to say I'm a fan of your work, and hello from the Cayman Islands. Jonathan, that is so kind of you. I really appreciate the encouragement. And I know, guys, I just want to, that's one of the reasons I have this channel, is to encourage you, because I know as a worship and media arts pastor, to tie into Jonathan's comment, you can kind of be on an island sometimes. And so we're all in this together. And so I just want to say, stick with it. And remember, we can do a lot of great things, right? But let's remember to do them all for the right reasons. Thank you, Willie, for the congratulations. 1.5 subscribers and counting. If you haven't subscribed, do it today. My children will thank you. Have a great weekend, y'all. See ya.